hit that like and the subscribe button for me, please. We continue to rebuild the platform here. Roland Martin looking like depression, heart disease, stroke, COPD, sleep apnea. Did I mention depression? And did I mention obesity already? All wrapped up in one. As he's bringing y'all the news that it looked like Donald Trump, when it all settled in, that Donald Trump was going to win the election the other day. This was a request, so I'm going to go ahead and respond. I couldn't respond to the whole thing. Video will be 3-4 hours long. So the men's arguments are so paper thin. They're easy to destroy. But that's what happens when you're bought and paid for like a Roland Martin. You're not standing on principles. You're standing on whatever the party says. Unless it's, y'all need to listen to me and y'all need to give me money. Not in those exact words, but essentially that's what the man says all the time. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say here, and I'm going to interject.
So
fair use, Roland. I know you like to come for people. Fair use, pause.
y'all can enjoy your win, but I'm telling you right now, a lot of you who voted for Trump and you're rejoicing right now, there will be tears. And when the tears come shedding, you can't cry on our shoulders.
So were you crying the last 4 years as the Biden-Harris administration has driven this country to the ground, inflation out this world? Roland Martin, have you been shedding tears? Have you been looking for Republican shoulders to cry on? The only thing you've done is just sit there with your hand out saying, give me money and I'll fix it. You can't fix nothing, Roland. You ain't got the juice, man. Ain't nobody listening to you under the age of 60. Come on now. Anyway. Well, let me keep talking.
You can't come to say, I don't know how this happened. And all we gonna say is, we tried to tell you. Folks, Black Star Network is...
I mean, look at the type of stuff that Roland posts on his own. Dude, it's corny as they come. But anyway, he's going to talk about some, we tried to tell you. Roland Martin is a clown. Now, I'm going to go back and go into a couple things he was talking about. It's either this or another panel. Let me find it real quick. So here's part of it. Man, look at, that's a face only a mother could love. My goodness. The man looked like something out of Lord of the Rings. Good Lord, have mercy. Golly. Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, pick one. Goodness gracious. Man looked like an orc. Anyway, a fat one. No. He looked like one of the dwarves. Yeah. Just give him the long hair and the beard, a longer beard. Yeah. Put a little... Put the little capitals. Anyway, so this is part of it here. So just, I'm going to go ahead and chime in. Let me talk chime in.
I know y'all really, really think that we should go to where we came from. Well, I'm going to tell you where I came from. Riverside Hospital, Houston, Texas. 250.
Now I'm going to say this. We got, look like 10 people sitting around Roland Martin. He's sitting kind of at the head of everything. And we got, how many men are sitting there? What, 5 men? So 5 men, 5 women. The women look halfway attractive. Might have to go back and check this out. See if they were spitting too much nonsense or whatever. I got to just do some research or whatever the case may be. But How sad is it to where Roland Martin is your ringleader? He's sitting at the head of the table. Roland Martin is pathetic. And any usefulness that he did have, possibly, brother, it's done. And it's obvious that it's done because look at the low voter turnout. Roland Martin couldn't move the needle. He cannot. Roland Martin is detached from the grassroots. He has no idea what everyday people are dealing with. And if he does, he's an absolute liar. It's just a Democratic shield, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to lean more towards the latter. Because he can only be one of those two things. Either he's being honest and he really believes that the Democratic Party is looking out for your everyday average person and not trying to exploit the everyday average person. In the words of Van Jones, to use them as a springboard to power. So either he really believes that or he's a liar. And I believe he's a liar. But anyway, yeah, all these men over here, you got 5 black men sitting up here. Get it together. Sitting around Roland Martin. Man, please, they would have kicked me off that panel.
The Defender Street in Clinton Park. And then 222 Pennsylvania Street in Clinton Park. So we're here. And we gonna swing. And I'm telling you right now, y'all act a fool. It's gonna be the Montgomery Brawl. Yes, sir. Cause
see now this is again. I can't help but laugh at him. This dude is pathetic. So again, Roland Martin throwing out the threats. Mr. Zesty himself be arguing, going back and forth with our women all the time if they disagree with him. This the big bad Roland Martin that's throwing out the threats. It's gonna be the Montgomery Brawl. Let me see if he says something else after this. Let's see.
we gonna throw the cat in the air. And when it's time to swing, it's time to swing.
Yes, sir.
And so y'all can play it cute. Oh, by the way, all of you working class people, oh, I can't wait till the corporations start laying your asses off.
Brother, they're already doing it. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. But I'm guessing you're going to blame Trump for that, right? It's Trump's fault, right? It's not the people's fault who's in office right now. It's supposed to be advocating for those people. It's not their fault. He's not in office, hasn't been in office, and he's got more power than the people who are in office. Make it make sense, man. But you're talking about all this big bag talk. I'll get back to this in a second. But you're talking about all this nonsense about Montgomery Brawl. Like you're going to put hands on people. Like you're going to kick up dust, Roland Martin. Let's see what happens when somebody rolls up on Roland Martin. So Roland Martin talked that talk like he typically does. This dude, Jamal Green, rolled up on him. He knew where he's going to be. So he rolled up on him, said, "What's up, Roland? You talking that nonsense on the internet. What's up with it? You did a whole program about me. What's up?" This is Roland's response, Mr. It's going to be the Montgomery Brawl up in here.
Yesterday, you tweeted about me. You tweeted, you called me dumb yesterday, right? You called me dumb. Say what you got to say right now. Say what you got to say.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see that. No.
But watch Roland's response. Once the woman gets in front, he doesn't say just step aside, baby. You got 2 men talking right now. We're gonna hash this thing out, however it needs to be hashed out. So just step aside. He didn't say that. He hid behind her like the coward he is. Look at it. And like I said, these are the gutless, spineless cowards that they put on television, that they prop up and expect us as the real men to listen to. And then them poison the well so bad with these women pandering and everything like that. Look at that. And you can see, no, they didn't make that up. Because why? Look at that. You see it right there. Watch it. Look out. Look at that. He's getting that dude, the side eyes a little blurry. But you can see it there. He's like, he ain't even looking the man in his eye. Can't even look him in the eye. He's a coward. And these are the type of dudes that get on television talking tough, that they try to use to influence us again. Ain't nobody listening to Roland Martin under 60, 55 at best. Ain't no way. And that's where the Democratic Party has gone wrong, listening to the Roland Martins of the world. So cowardly, he's going to stand behind a woman when he gets pressed by somebody he was talking trash about. He's going to stand behind that woman. Look at that. He wanted nothing to do with that man. Jamal Green, salute, bruv. Salute. Yeah, Roland Martin don't want no smoke for real. He one of these dudes, he just like a troll on the internet. He just be chit-chatter, going back and forth with people on the internet. But if you see him in person, he gonna ball up. Nah, brother, it's okay. Look, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? You misinterpret. Don't misinterpret what I'm trying to say. That's a Roland Martin. He's a coward. Anyway, let's get back to some more of this nonsense so I can wrap this thing on up. I don't want to be an hour long. All right, so more Roland. He's distraught. He's distraught, but he's still going to come with his hand out. Listen. Fair use, Roland.
The next leader of the Democratic National Committee has to come in with a big-ass trash can. I think the next leader of the Democratic National Committee has to make it clear that there are consultants and folks under contract who should be given their walking papers.
So you hear Roland. Roland's talking about quote-unquote consultants that have contracts and you be given their walking papers. Brother, you're not going to replace them. Always begging for money. And again, like I said earlier, he doesn't say it directly, but he makes statements like that. The consultants. Brother, you weren't on your program saying what needed to be said about the Democratic Party. You weren't doing it. They need to hear the truth. But at the end of the day, I believe they moved the party where they wanted to move it. It was done on purpose. It wasn't no accident. It wasn't done by incompetent consultants and things of that nature. They've been moving us in this direction for a very long time. This is not new. Barack Obama went from running, when he was running for president initially, he was against gay marriage. And by the time he left, the White House was lit up with the rainbow. All right? This is nothing new. You, Roland Martin, are nothing new. You're old news, bruv. You're old news. And it's not even good news. You're like the National Enquirer or something like that. You're not a reliable source of information, bro. You're not. You're bought and paid for, Roland Martin. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing all this shilling you're doing. I know you're not. I know you wouldn't. Shucking and jiving with Hillary Clinton and doing everything else that you've been doing over the years, bruv. You wouldn't be doing this if you wasn't getting a check. But you want more than just a little check that they're giving you. You want a prominent position, and you ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get it. That's right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into more of this.
Because the advice and the counsel that was given was shameful. The DNC, even though the DNC chair cannot control PACs, Future Forward needs to get called out. How are you the designated PAC for the campaign? And I travel this country, and I was in battleground states, and I was watching television and listening to radio, and y'all supposedly were running the stuff. It was amazing how I ain't see it. But I saw lots of Make America Great Again PAC and Trump campaign commercials. So I think that's one. Two,
That's where you out of touch, Roland. It wasn't the commercials. People typically ignore campaign commercials. I'm watching the game. I don't care about your campaign ad. It was the fact that you ran a candidate that couldn't do a competent interview. You ran a candidate that you had to hide for almost 2 months before she did anything. Then she did friendly interviews with people like yourself and others. You had a candidate that never answered not one time a direct question. Not once. That was the problem. And didn't speak to the people on the ground. Didn't speak to anybody in the grassroots. That was the problem, Roland. Anyway.
you've got to have a leader who can communicate in the streets and the suites. Mm-hmm. You've got to have somebody who is aggressive enough to go on media outlets, and not just MSNBC, but showing your ass up to this show, to Sirius XM radio shows, going to other digital shows and podcasts, and actually having a media strategy.
Yeah.
It means hiring a team to put back together the black political infrastructure that was obliterated when Obama was president. Mm-hmm. That has to happen as well. And you also have got to have a DNC, and that's the DNC. Republicans are going to control the Senate. Democrats, Chuck Schumer cannot be the minority leader.
Oh, child.
I don't give a damn.
You know, who are these people? Who are his hype people on the side? That I hate this dude. Now, my grandmother said, "You don't hate a person, you hate their ways." I hate Roland Martin's ways. Anyway, another video. This dude just be blabbering off at the mouth, spitting a bunch of nothing, whole bunch of nonsense. So here's Roland again. Again. This is going to be the last little segment I'll talk about because I'm sick of the dude. Here's Roland again. He has a problem with some things that Bernie Sanders had to say. So let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say. Look again. This dude, boy, I tell you. Looking like a villain in a sci-fi movie. Let's go ahead and get it in.
When I say I am sick and tired of the bullshit from Senator Bernie Sanders, I'm just...
Oh my gosh. Roland cursed. I'm sure Bernie Sanders is so scared of big bad Roland Martin. Well, this dude's a clown, bro. Let him finish, though. And I am not going through this whole 29 minutes. Not happening.
tired of it. After the election on Tuesday, he decides to send out this statement. Go to my iPad. Bernie Sanders' statement on the results of the 2024 presidential election. It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and black workers as well. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago. Today, despite an explosion in technology, worker productivity, and he goes on and on and on. He goes on talking about the spending with Israel. He talked, will the big money interests in well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and the political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? And blah, 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 blah. In the coming weeks and months, those of us concerned about grassroots democracy and economic justice need to have some very serious political discussions. All right, here's why I got a problem with the statement, Long.
There was nothing wrong with what the man read. Everything that the man read from Bernie Sanders was 1,000% on point. So Roland, look at him. He just filled with the man looked like he done ate 7 chili dogs and he about to go ahead and have to make a trip to the restroom. That's the look that we have on this man's face. Ain't nobody gonna take this dude seriously, bruh. Look at this. Dude look like he ain't never mind, man. Where's his neck? The dude ain't got no neck. I can't take this dude seriously, man. Anyway, let me let him finish. but just to say, there was nothing wrong with anything that Bernie Sanders said in that statement. He caucuses with the Democratic Party. So he is invested to an extent. And, without the Democratic Party, he would be a true independent. He'd be literally by himself. So, there was nothing wrong with what the man said in that. The Democratic Party has abandoned, quote unquote, working class people. It's over. All right? It's over. Like I played in that LeBron James video I made, Malcolm X said it years ago. You put these people in office, you vote for them, they can't win an election without you, and you put them first and they put you last. And Roland Martin's over here spazzing out over Bernie Sanders calling these people out. You need to be doing it in a real way, Roland Martin, not just asking for money and a job. All right, let him finish.
He wants to throw in Latino and black in this. Mm-hmm. No, and I said this after 16, and I said it after 20. No, Bernie, what I was just saying with Jane Elliott, you need to take your ass and go talk to white working class people. Because if you actually look at the agenda of Biden-Harris, it was a whole lot that the working class got. And when you say working class, what are we talking about? Union workers? What are we talking about? And Sanders keeps going with this as if he's not a United States senator, as if he can't mobilize people. And it gets on my damn nerves when you act like stuff did not get passed. And so he keeps saying they are abandoning working class people when he wants to deny the...
What was the messaging in the campaign? What was the messaging? They wasn't talking to everyday working class people at all. Especially if you're a heterosexual male, there was nothing for you. If you was a black man, you had the finger wag that you said, you better get out there and vote. Shut up. We ain't got to give y'all nothing. Because your mama was black, you got to vote for her. That's what was said.
Reality of whiteness and also white culture that also drives the voting habits of working class people. How is it that black working class folk got it, and he's wrong in his press release, black working class people, we figured it out, but the other folk didn't?
Well, while he may not be the best messenger of what is in that statement, and he's likely not, because I think that Vice President Harris overperformed in Vermont over him. And of course, Bernie Sanders, was beaten in the primaries. So I'm not sure the voters were buying, that message that he has. But that populist message, unfortunately, that he has is not popular in the Democratic Party. There is a corporate kind of control that goes on in both of the parties, and I think what he's really getting at is the fact that subjects like poverty, homelessness aren't even on the table.
But here's the deal, though.
Talked about.
No. No, Lauren.
Now you see how. Now you see how this man is talking to this woman. She's talking very calmly. Made very good points, similar to what I said. Right? They weren't addressing the primary issues in this country at all. She stated that both parties are corporatized, and they are. They're two sides of the same coin, two wings on the same bird. You understand me? There was nothing that this woman said that was incorrect. So for Roland Martin, hold on, no. Roland Martin spazzing out, her calling these people out in a very calm, in a very classy manner. He had to call out. That was the bat signal for him. He got to defend these people. That's what it was for him. So let me let him throw up his weak defense here.
I can't. No, I can't. He didn't mention those two. In his statement, he didn't mention poverty. He didn't mention homelessness. He mentioned technology, AI. He mentioned healthcare. He mentioned spending money with Israel. He didn't mention that. So I'm gonna go with what he mentioned. And so he did mention the ruling class, but I think you gotta separate these consultants by saying, oh, they have ignored the working class. Their agenda didn't ignore the working class.
He mentioned the wealth gap in this country, which is extremely sizable, and something that rarely comes up unless he's talking.
But the policies of Biden Harris actually address the way.
You hear? Look at this idiot. Oh man. Dummy got me choking over here, Beth. Look at it. He over here scrambling. You got a woman who's legit, who's on point, who's calling them out on the nonsense. And he's spitting a bunch of emotional, democratic shield babble. That's all he can come back with. Look at the confused look on his face. Look at this idiot. Look at him. Got them rings on. I wonder what's on them rings, Roland Martin. I might do a deep dive on this idiot if I really feel like it. I don't have the time, but I might do it just cause. Cause look at him. This is actually, you know what he's doing? He's confusing our parents. He's confusing our grandparents. That's what he's doing. spitting that nonsense about the Montgomery brawl. It's going to be Montgomery again and all this other stuff. I had actually, when I went to work a few days ago, right before the election, I had a patient's mother tell me the patient was a teenager, or could have been grandmother. I didn't get fully into their business, but older black woman, looked like she was probably around 60, give or take 5 years, right? Depending on how rough the lifestyle was. She's telling me he can't get in, referring to Trump, because they're, meaning white people, gonna be kicking our doors in, doing all this other stuff. That is a prevalent theme because clowns like this are pushing that nonsense. Like him. They're not pushing empowerment. They're pushing being scared. But as we showed in the video earlier, Roland Martin rolls like that. He is a scary dude. If you confront him, he's gonna back down. That's what he's going to do. I mean, can you blame him? Look at him. Yeah. He's a fat, out of shape, Democrat, shilling sweat hog. That's what he is. And that's what he always will be. Until the day that he expires. You know? And I'm not wishing that on the man or anything like that. Because he does serve a purpose. He serves the purpose of showing us what not to do. Showing us how not to be. Showing us how not to make progress. You want to have your people stagnate? Listen to Roland Martin. So let's listen to this babble he's going to respond to this woman with. Again, this woman here, calm as can be. Let him run off, be overly emotional, yelling and babbling and all this other nonsense. He's not matching her energy. He should be calm. She's calm, but he's not. Anyway, I'm about to wrap this up in a minute. Let me just let this go for a little bit.
Workers.
Her primary message was democracy, the threat of Donald Trump. Her primary message was abortion, the threat of democracy, and the craziness of Donald Trump. There's nothing wrong with that message. I don't have any problem with that.
But
what I'm saying to you, though, is that
but she also talked about housing.
Conversation
she
that never gets had, and it's still not getting had. I mean, anytime anybody brings this up, it's like nobody can talk, right? When we talk about poverty or homelessness or 40 million people in poverty, like nobody wants to hear that.
Well, first of all, I don't know who the hell nobody is. I don't know who nobody is because we talk about it. But the point I'm making is with Sanders keeps saying they are being ignored. Now, if Sanders is saying that we're not messaging to workers, okay, but to say that Democrats are ignoring the working class, if I look at actual policies over the last 4 years, that's actually a lie.
Nina Turner tried to run, remember, for Marcia Fudge's seat. Who did she get blocked by? She got blocked by the leadership in the Democratic Party. Nina Turner got blocked by. She got blocked by voters in the district. Nina Turner is a disciple of Bernie Sanders, and the Democratic Party doesn't want to hear that message. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong.
No. She lost. She got blocked by the voters in the district.
No. Yeah, she got blocked by the Democratic Party.
Okay, no. First of all, let's be clear. She ran, 2 or 3 times? Okay?
Yeah.
And let's be clear, the first time she also outraised folks. But I'm still dealing with Sanders here. Again, is the question...
Bush and Summerlee and Jamal Bowman, nobody stands up for them. Nobody says anything. When they talk about populist stuff, nobody wants to hear it. When I say nobody, I say the leadership in the Democratic Pardon.
Okay, specify then. Don't say nobody.
Nobody.
Because that's not true.
Anything. Okay.
No. Don't say nobody.
Like they're outcasts. They're rebels. They're problematic. You know, I'm telling you, Roland. I know that Bernie.
So if you see here, I'm going to rewind for a sec. This black man here in the bottom left hand hasn't said a word. Roland Martin is over here looking confused. Trying to figure out. He's looking off into the distance, trying to figure out what type of nonsense he's going to pull out of the air to defend the Democratic Party. Brother, you can't pull it out. It don't exist. It don't exist, brother. You can look as far out as you can. Put some glasses on. You probably can't see anyway. Put some glasses on. It ain't out there, bruv. Look at you. All his still shots are hilarious. Oh my goodness gracious, sakes alive. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, this man here is literally, he's nodding. He's shaking his head at Roland. He's nodding with this demure black woman right here who's telling Roland Martin how it is, letting him spout off his nonsense, letting him be overly emotional, waiting for him to talk, and then giving a point, and then Roland, no. What a... Oh, man. Hey, look, I know this video is way longer than I wanted it to be, but whatever. I'm enjoying making it, so it is what it is. Anyway, let me go for a little bit longer.
Pardon.
Okay, specify then. Don't say nobody.
Nobody.
Because that's not true.
Anything. Okay.
No. Don't say nobody.
Like they're out.
And this black woman down here, she didn't had enough. She ain't even shook her head, yay or nay or nothing. She just like, she's like, why am I even here? This is a waste of time. Roland and took over the whole doggone panel. Of course, it's his show, but he's not allowing his guests to speak. He's trying so hard to defend this nonsense that the Democratic Party has put before us that he can't control himself. He's not acting composed in any way, shape, or form. And this poor excuse of a man is what they put before us as somebody that we should listen to, or somebody that we should trust as a legit source of information. This. Nah, bruv. I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer, then we're going to wrap it up. I got to go to work.
They're rebels. They're problematic. You know, I'm telling you, Roland, I know that Bernie Sanders is not the right messenger. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I am saying is that there are certain topics that when they come up, there are Democrats in the leadership that really just don't want to hear it.
And what I'm saying is
Vice President Harris's primary message, no problem, was on abortion, was on democracy, no problem, was on Trump being dangerous, no problem. That her primary message was those things, but what people want to hear about is the economy and, of course, jobs.
And what I'm saying is, if you're Sanders, be specific. When I read Niambi, Democrats ignore the working class, and I look at actual policy, that's not true. Now, if you're...
They don't message it, Roland.
Okay, hold on. And what I'm saying, Lauren, messaging...
But they don't...
No, Lauren. Messaging and ignore...
No, Roland, look. Your whole platform, and I've maintained it this entire time, and it's obvious to anybody who's paid attention. Like the woman said, abortion, Trump bad. Abortion, you can't have him. He dangerous. You ignored the men. You ignored the men. And if you ignore the men, you're going to lose every time. You know why? Because you're going to get a certain segment of women with that messaging. But there are going to be women who follow the men. Yeah? That's why Kamala Harris lost across the board. Trump picked up men in certain aspects because they don't want their daughters playing against 6'3" men when they play basketball in high school. They don't want their daughters playing against running track against young men as well, biological males. Yeah. Which is what your party, Roland Martin, while you're over here trying to trying to yell down this woman who's as calm as can be. We don't want that for our families, for our daughters. We're really trying to protect our women. You understand me? So unlike Roland Martin is one of the people who's going to ensure that you and your whole bloodline is put on hard times. Hard times when you can't get a proper job. Hard times when you can't afford housing. Hard times when the average price of a new car is $40,000 when that used to be the price of a luxury car. Hard times is when gas is $4 and $5 a gallon. Roland Martin is trying to make sure that y'all all on hard times as long as he's collected a check. That's what he's doing. So at the end of the day, you mentioned earlier in the video that there needs to be a trash can, brother. You need to be the first thing going in it. Let me know what you guys think. Is Roland Martin a shield for the Democratic Party? And does he need to be ignored for eternity? Or is Roland Martin just looking out for his people and he's misunderstood? Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like, subscribe button, please. Roland, fair use, don't you come for me, man. Until next time, I'm out.